We've all used this infamous guitar pick, but it could be holding you back. Whether you're a complete beginner or you've been playing years, there are three big problems with the most common types of guitar pick that no amount of exercises or practice can fix. But dude, just changing your pick to something that suits how you play can improve your skills in a matter of days. So if you have any of the problems in this video, then maybe it's time to swap out the Tortex for something new. Let's get into it. The most common problem with regular picks like this, or this, is that they're fucking hard to hold, dude, and that can be a real issue. When you're playing guitar, your right hand needs to be super relaxed to get the best from it. Tension leads to bad technique, and you're never going to be more tense than if you're constantly shuffling one of these picks around in your hand trying not to drop it. Standard picks, especially ones like this, are incredibly slippery, and it's super easy to just drop them and watch them tumble off into the void, never to be seen again. I mean, you just need to look at your favourite bands when they're playing live and see all the picks taped to their headstocks and mic stands, or the fact that some companies even make products to make normal picks stickier. The materials that they make these from suck, dude. But the other reason that they're hard to hold is actually down to the way the human hand works. Gripping something thin like a regular guitar pick is much more difficult than gripping something thick because your muscles have to work harder further through their range of motion. And when you're talking about tiny muscle groups like the ones in your hands, the problem's magnified. You can even test this yourself by pinching something like a single piece of paper in between your thumb and finger like you'd hold a guitar pick and try to snatch it away with your other hand. Then just do the same thing with a stack of paper instead of a single sheet. The stack of paper will take way less effort to grip, and that's because your muscles aren't as exerted, and that's the exact same thing that you'd get if you opt to use a thicker guitar pick. The first time I realised just how big a difference a thick guitar pick could make was when I was testing out a load of different picks for a video. I went through plastic, cellulose, Delrin, big, small, jazz, Tortex, Ultex, Windex, until I eventually found the picks that Jaketto were making. Long story short, I liked these picks so much that I just stopped using regular picks altogether, and I eventually became one of their artists. But just to be clear, this isn't a sponsored video. I don't get a kickback or anything if you buy one. They're just the picks that I use all the time, and I've seen so many benefits through using them. So if you do want to check them out, there is a link in the description, but there's no pressure. The way these picks fix both the aspects of the grip problem that you get with normal picks is the fact that they're handmade from a material that does not slip around in your fingers, and they're also super thick. Like, unusually thick, but I promise you, even if it seems strange, it's something you should try. By being anywhere from like 3mm right up to 12mm, if that's your thing, you don't use as much of your muscle range and can keep a firm grip on your pick whilst keeping your hand more relaxed. And if you can keep your hand more relaxed, you've got more control and can be more precise and deliberate in the way that you strike the strings. All that adds up to better technique and sounding more polished whenever you pick up your guitar to blast a few riffs, and over time, it'll automatically strengthen your right hand abilities. But even if you've got a solid grip of your pick, that doesn't matter if the next problem isn't dealt with. When you hit the strings, especially as a beginner, you're going to find two things. Either the pick gets hung up on the strings and doesn't pass through cleanly, or you're going to get a wild scratchy noise, and both of these things make you sound like a sloppy player. That's something we want to fix quickly. Now, you absolutely can address this by really concentrating on your right hand technique and taking a lot of time to train your right hand to hold and use a regular pick correctly. People call this proper technique, but I see it more as proper technique for using a substandard tool. I mean, I bet you could learn to use a hammer that had got a wobbly handle if you practice with it enough. There's a better way, dude. Finding a guitar pick that has been designed specifically to pass through the strings cleanly can help you get better in so many ways. These picks have been specifically designed to have a beveled edge so that it doesn't matter so much at what angle your pick hits the string, because it will always pass through super clean. Whether you hold your guitar pick with a traditional forwards tilt or your backwards pick like I do, the pick will always connect with the strings cleanly and pass through without any issues. That means you're not fighting the strings to hit your next note, which in turn makes you sound like a better player, but also improves your timing and accuracy. The scratchy sound from thin picks is completely gone too. The reason that you might get that noise when you're a beginner player or you're using regular picks is because these are so thin, they're biting into the windings of the strings, which means that you need to spend time making sure that you hit the strings at the correct angle just to avoid that noise. That takes so much time when you could fix that problem just by changing your guitar pick and use all that time to work on more important things like learning your favourite songs or improving technique. With the bevel on these thicker picks, there is no biting sharp edge, so it doesn't catch the strings and you just won't get that noise. A regular pick is like using a handsaw on a violin, where these thicker picks is like using an actual bow. Just by changing changing your pick to something like this, you can sound like a better guitarist right away. Sounds like a no-brainer to me, dude, but there is one more problem that we need to get under control. Now, depending on your preferred size of regular pick, this could be more of an issue or less of an issue. The mass of the guitar pick matters a lot because it affects your tone, and tone is one of the big giveaways that you might not be as experienced as some other players. That's totally fine, we are all learning no matter how long we've been playing guitar, but wouldn't it be sick if we could fool people into thinking we're better players than we actually are? I don't mean fake you play on Instagram, that's not what I'm talking about. Here's some more science for you. Like I said, mass affects tone when you're hitting things. If you take a glass and tap it with a pencil, which is obviously made of wood, unless you've got some wild pencils, and then you tap the same glass with the same force, but with a spoon, which one's louder? We know it's the spoon, and that's because it's got more mass. And the way that the glass rings out is quite similar to the way the guitar string rings out when you hit it with your pick. If you're using regular picks and you find that the sound is a little bit inconsistent, sometimes it's quieter, sometimes it's louder, you could probably fix that by using a thicker guitar pick like this one. When you hit the strings with more mass, like using a thicker pick, it transfers more energy down the strings, resulting in a clearer, more stable note. And that'll just make the note sound better. In turn, that hits the ears of whoever it is listening to you play, and that creates thoughts of, whoa, they can really play, or suddenly I find them much more attractive than before. That's a guarantee. With those three problems sorted, just by swapping out your pick to something like this one, you can start to make huge gains in the way you play, your sound, and your technique. Thick-ass picks like the ones that Jaketto hand makes have been a game changer for the way that I play, dude. So again, if you do want to check them out, there's a link below. But I'm interested, what picks are you using right now? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips, tricks, and lessons. Oh, and what about this video, dude? YouTube thinks you'll like it. Thanks for watching.